Huge and strange animals that look like fabulous monsters live in the Amazon forests. Now you will learn about why this river generates such creatures and who can lurk in the most remote jungle. Jaguar is the third largest panther, second only to lions and tigers. That's just in terms of rage and combat skills. She can compete with them on equal terms. Among her relatives, she is distinguished by the brutal style of hunting. Lionesses usually strangle their victim, and tigers either also cut off oxygen or break their necks. But jaguars act differently. At the base of the skulls of the victims of these predators, traces of powerful bites are usually found, which crush the cervical vertebrae, break the occipital bones, and interrupt the vessels. The jaws of this cat are incredibly strong. The jaguar is one of those predators that can really literally bite off the victim's head. In addition, the jaguar has very powerful paws, which it can use with surgical precision. At the same time, the jaguar is a cautious, cunning, and versatile fighter. He ambushes in the thickest thickets, swims and hunts well in the water, climbs trees perfectly, and can fall on the victim from the height of the second or third floor to solve the issue of his lunch with one blow. And this cat is also braver than the wolverine, because it hunts not only herbivores, but even crocodiles. And in the enemy's native element, right in the water. But why is this cat so cool? The answer to this question is at the same time an explanation of why the Amazon creates real monsters. The jaguar, with all its advantages, although it is one of the most effective predators of these places, is still not only the king of the jungle, and all its advantages are needed by the cat just to survive. In almost any other corner of the planet, a predator with the capabilities of a jaguar would become the dominant species. But in the Amazon basin, it is only one of many. For example, his manner of biting through the back of the victim's head was developed simply because the creatures that the jaguar hunts are invulnerable to strangulation, and so powerful that it is almost impossible for them to break their necks in another way. Extremely harsh living conditions forced the jaguar to become a more formidable hunter than a lion or tiger. Although the spotted cat is inferior to its larger cousins in size and sheer power, it surpasses them in, let's say, special skills. For example, this is a special vision. You know that cats have it much better than humans, but the jaguar has it even better than most of its relatives. The vision of this spotted predator is not only incredibly sharp, clear, and has a night vision mode, it also has unmasking capabilities. Many animals have learned mimicry. They are able to blend in with the environment, which makes them almost invisible. Jaguar doesn't care about this ability. His vision is able to penetrate through this disguise, so even in the colorful rainforest, it is possible to cope with him. In addition, this cat has the most powerful bite among all felines, simply because otherwise it is impossible to cope with the shells of turtles, caimans, and armadillos. Yes, you understand correctly. Jaguars open the powerful shells of turtles and are able to cope even with the frontal armor of an adult crocodile. And at the same time, the cat can catch prey even at the height of the 7th floor, because with a mass of up to 220 pounds, up to 100 kilograms, this predator practically flies between the branches at a great height, climbs the crowns of the tallest trees, and catches monkeys, as well as other super clever animals. Handsome, don't you agree? He deserves your like. The Amazon River Basin is one of the most mysterious places in the world. This river competes with the Nile for the title of the longest. But what the Amazon has no competitors in is the size of the pool and fullness of water. If we take into account the remote tributaries, the area of the Amazon basin is more than 3 times the area of the whole of Mexico. Most of this vast territory is occupied by jungles that have been growing there for more than 1 million years. A very large amount of water, fertile soil, high humidity, and a warm climate have led to the fact that for dense vegetation, here is the best place in the world. The jungle in such conditions has become incredibly dense and diverse. Do you know that the saying that the Amazon is the lungs of the planet? If this is an exaggeration, then only a little, because the local tropical forests produce about 20% of the planet's total oxygen. But this miracle of nature has another dark side. Due to such favorable conditions for the life of flora, its own unique ecosystem has been formed here. The Amazon basin is almost another world, a very harsh world. In the wild, there is a real arms race. Predators are developing new ways to overcome the victim. Meanwhile, the prey is trying to find a new defensive weapon. In the Amazon basin, this race got a real boost of steroids. Therefore, there are most of the creatures that it is best for a person never to encounter. Unless Australia can be found no less dangerous creatures, but there are much fewer of them. It was the Amazon that became home to the largest and strongest snake in the world, the anaconda. This reptile reaches a length of about 16 feet, about 5 meters, and this is for her very usual dimensions. A snake that was almost twice as large got into the Guinness Book of World Records. And according to the rumors of the local population, there are real giants in the impenetrable thickets. The length of this legendary snake can reach some incredible 50 feet or 15 meters. Such a snake would be able to hang down from the 6th floor, and the tip of its tail would remain in the window when the head would have already touched the ground. There is no documented evidence of the existence of such giants, or they are unreliable. But admit it, it would be stupid cool to meet a huge monster snake in the thickets of the rainforest, which could hunt elephants, and try to stretch it along to accurately measure the length. So, even if such reptiles exist, it is unlikely that we will know about it for sure in the coming years. What do you guys think? Share your opinion in the comments. But even an ordinary anaconda is one of the most terrible predators on the planet. The whole body of an anaconda is a weapon consisting of twisted tight muscles, powerful as steel cables. Even an ordinary anaconda can deal with a wild boar and be dangerous for both a jaguar and a black caiman. These snake attacks the victim with lightning speed. While the prey is in shock, the snake is already wrapping its rings around it. The anaconda does not try to find a neck to strangle the prey. The snake doesn't need it. Instead, the reptile simply crushes the victim with a mass and squeezes her whole body in her arms. The rings immobilize the limbs and do not allow you to fight effectively, run, or counterattack. The prey tries to breathe, but at the exhalation of the victim, the snake makes an additional effort and squeezes the chest harder. So there is less space in the lung for the next breath. Gradually, the prey loses strength. Pretty scary, don't you agree? This is not the end, though. When the victim is almost given up, the anaconda squeezes her body even harder to break bones and cause critical damage to internal organs. Do you feel sorry for the anaconda prey? Well, she can only hope that this stage will be fatal for her. After all, the snake eats its prey whole, slowly swallowing it. Do you see these 2 bones in the hands of the scientist? These are the vertebrae of 2 snakes. The one he holds in his right hand belongs to an anaconda. Can you imagine how long a monster should be if its vertebrae is several times larger than the bone of this giant snake? We are talking about the largest snake in the history of the planet, Titanoboa. According to scientists, the largest anacondas weigh about 480 pounds, about 210 kilograms. the titanoboa is 5 times more massive. A snake weighing about a ton, where the whole mass is powerful musculature. This creature died out millions of years ago, so there was no need to be afraid of the monster. But guess where these creatures lived? That's right, in the Amazon basin. Of course, the Amazon basin is also home to venomous snakes. Some of the most dangerous in the world. Was there any doubt about it? This place amazes with the variety of ways that the local inhabitants can use if they want to fight. Kaisaka is a venomous snake that has infrared vision. It captures the body heat and preys mainly on small rodents. But its venom is designed to protect the owner from an aggressive deer, not just from a mouse. The Kaisaka is a relative of the rattlesnake, so its venom also has a similar effect. It is a hemotoxin, a substance that destroys blood. The complex chemical composition of the poison gives it a combined effect. Tissue necrosis begins at the bite site. But the main thing is the effect on the circulatory system. There are abundant internal bleedings, which weaken the body. Then the heart and kidneys fail. There is an antidote for the Kaisaka poison, but in order for a person to survive, the serum must be injected as soon as possible. According to statistics, the venom of this particular snake affects people living in the Amazon basin most often. Such a huge number of dangerous creatures can easily be explained by the highest population density among all the biomes of the planet. A biome is a collection of ecosystems of a certain climatic zone. So, the Amazon basin is, of course, a huge territory. But at the same time, there are several times more living beings here than in any other place on the planet with the same area. Think about it. 10% of all animal species known to science live right here, in the basin of a single river. And this is not because scientists are lazy and we're looking for living beings only here. On the contrary, the Amazon is still being explored, and apparently, hundreds or even thousands of species unknown to science live on the territory of this local jungle, which are waiting just to be found. Well, or they're not waiting, and then scientists are waiting for a lot of unpleasant surprises. Millions of species of insects, which means tens of billions of their representatives, thousands of species of birds, reptiles, and amphibians, hundreds of species of mammals, including very large ones. This diversity of species is another reason why the Amazon breeds monsters. Just statistically, the more living creatures in general, the more dangerous they are. In addition, the diversity of species is also affected by the level of climate favorability. The Amazon is warm and humid all year round. Of course, these conditions are great for the development of pathogenic bacteria. So, if you decide to travel through the impenetrable thickets of the local jungle, do not forget about the danger, even if no one bites or if no one stings you. There are enough contagious diseases here, and because of the humidity, infection easily penetrates into the smallest wounds and scratches. But diseases and a high probability of inflammation, even small skin lesions, this is not enough to restrain the development of living beings, if conditions are conducive to this. And here, the conditions are excellent. Therefore, if people do not interfere with deforestation and development of territories for agriculture, the population of many species in the Amazon basin will be consistently high. And this means a large number of predators, much more than in many other regions of the planet. For example, the territory of Canada, which is larger than the Amazon basin, is home to more than 30 species of snakes, but only 4 of them are poisonous and may pose some kind of danger to humans. There are hundreds of species of venomous snakes in the Amazon basin, so there are several dozen dangerous ones among them.